98 WPEG, Charlotte's plug for new hip hop and R&B. It is a Working Woman Wednesday inside the Madhouse, and yes, we are getting ready for our 28-hour sleep out. I don't even know what year this is, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It's been a long time. And we do it each and every year, and it's an honor and a pleasure to serve the community of Charlotte, to serve one of the most underserved communities here in Charlotte, the women and children of Charlotte who are houseless, and they're housed right in the Center of Hope at the Salvation Army at 534 Spratt Street. We need resources, we need donations, and our goal every year for the shelter is to raise at least $10,000. The new director is in the building. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good morning, Charlotte, Queen City, my home. So Larry called me the new director. He said this last year, y'all.
I did.
It's been a couple of years now.
It's just over a year. I made it a year and some change. So I'm not going to say I'm the new director.
You're still new. You're still fresh.
I'm back again. So thank you, Morning Madhouse, for having me. I am Kelly Hicks, the director of the Center of Hope, Salvation Army, as Larry said, where we serve the women and children and veterans here within Charlotte, Mecklenburg, greater surrounding areas. And I'm thrilled to partner with the Morning Madhouse crew and Power 98 for their 28-hour kickoff event.
1 year. You got 1 year under your belt. Congratulations.
Thank you, Jessica.
Talk to us about what you have learned about the Charlotte community in your role in that year.
That's a great question. So in this past year, I've learned that, one, although Salvation Army Center of Hope is the primary only shelter within Charlotte that serves women and children, homelessness really is a community-wide area problem that needs to be a solution that we all come together to help problem solve. And I think this event is one of the ways in which we do that. One of the other things that I've learned within my year is that Charlotte really does a great job of supporting women, children, homeless individuals within our area. We work with Mecklenburg County, we work with the city of Charlotte, we work with other philanthropic agencies and entities to help bring forth supports and resources for the women and children. And then, of course, I can't forget you all, because this is why we're doing this event. So we work with you all, as Larry said, year after year after year to raise money for the women and children at the Center of Hope.
Yeah.
Now, for how long have you been in the business of helping women, children, or just people in general, and what drove you into this?
So, Working Woman Wednesday, I am a working woman.
Come
And
on,
I've
man.
been
That's
doing this work, for social work, human services for over 20 years. I don't look like I've been doing it for 20 years, but I've been doing it for 20 years. I started with Mecklenburg County government, and then I transitioned into homeless services. And so I've been with Salvation Army for just over a year and a half, but my foundation started with child welfare with Mecklenburg County DSS. So I am a native Charlottean. So over the years, I have seen how our community has changed, how it has been impacted by homelessness, and that's what drove me to just kind of change my career trajectory from DSS to the Salvation Army.
And a proud HBCU graduate.
And a proud HBCU. Come on, Jessica, you better remind the people.
Okay,
proud
now.
HBCU graduate of the Hampton University.
Yes.
So I appreciate that,
Yes.
Jessica.
Okay, Hampton. Okay, Hampton.
So, doing this work right here in Charlotte at the Center of Hope, what is the greatest need right now? Like, if we're talking to the people of Charlotte, America, we know we always ask them to bring out, monetary donations, because that goes a long way. So tell them about, where the monetary donations go, but what is the greatest need too as well?
Absolutely. So the monetary donations go to purchasing things such as cots, because that is one of our greatest needs. In the winter months, we have inclement weather overflow shelter, which we then do that again in the summer months when it's hot. And so during that time, we use those cots to bring in additional guests. We typically house about 245 to approximately 300 women and children nightly. So during the winter weather months and the summer months, we bring in approximately 50 to 75 additional people when willing and able. And so that's why the cots help us meet those numbers. So we definitely need money to buy additional cots. We also need sheets to cover the cots, pillows. We need feminine products for our women and our teenage girls. And monetary donations help really supply all of the summer activities for our children at the Center of Hope as well.
Can you talk to us a little bit about, because you talk about the cots. Talk to us about what a day at the shelter looks like. I think that some people think that you all house women and children and they're there, but then at night you all are also opening up the doors to people that don't live at the shelter, that just need a place to stay at night. Is that still going on? I know you had residents that were sleeping in the cafeteria at night.
So that's
sort of talk to us about what that day looks like.
So that's our overflow space. So a day-to-day for individuals at the shelter, they would wake up. We provide breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so for those that are employed, they are able to exit and go to their jobs just as any other individual would do in their day-to-day routine. And then our children go to school from the shelter. And then when they return, they're able to have afternoon snack, dinner, and in different activities within the evening. For those in the overflow spaces, if space permits, then we're able to take in individuals in the evening in our overflow space, which is the cafeteria or our chapel area. Then those individuals are able to exit out in the morning, and then they can come back in the evening as well in that same space, permitting space.
And also, I know that since we've been doing this project and we've been there are also some people that, because that overflow space fills up, they're sleeping in the car in the parking lot. So that really talks to us about the space that we really need to grow this shelter so that we can really take care of our houseless neighbors, because even you all are running out of space.
Correct. Our unsheltered neighbors in Charlotte, Mecklenburg community are approximately 3,000 people. Wow. And as I stated, we can only house approximately 245 to 300.
Which is about almost 10%.
Correct.
Almost 10%.
So you're speaking of numbers that we can't meet. So that's why I say homelessness is not just an area that Salvation Army can solve. It's going to take the greater Charlotte Mecklenburg community to solve this.
Pod 98 WPG, Charlotte's Plug for New Hip Hop and R&B. The director of the Salvation Army Women and Children Shelter, Kelly Hicks, is live inside the Madhouse. And tomorrow we kick off our 28-hour broadcast where the Madhouse, we go homeless for about 28 hours. We kick it off tomorrow at 6 a.m. Then we'll wrap up Friday at 10 a.m. 28 hours of collecting donations, bringing awareness to the Women and Children Shelter right here in Charlotte. It's called a Center of Hope. And Kelly, you've been in your position about a year now. A little over a year now. What has been your biggest sight so far? Like, what is the biggest thing you've seen so far in your position?
The biggest thing I've seen so far in my position is being able to make connections and continue the partnerships that were established prior to my arrival. Partnerships are extremely important in this work. So whether it's at the Salvation Army Center of Hope, whether it's with Mecklenburg County government, working in human services, you cannot do this work alone. So it's important to establish partnerships and work alongside individuals who are able to help you meet the goals, as you stated, of making sure we have available services for those vulnerable populations.
So I was out. I always share this story around this time because it is one of my favorite stories. I was out and I was stopped by a lady and she goes, "Aren't you Miss Jessica and from Power 98?" I said, "Yes." And she goes, "I want you to know that the money that you all raised for the Center of Hope went right back. They immediately started using that money. And I was a resident at the shelter." And she says, "I have since transitioned out and I have a home and I have a job and I'm doing well." I was so excited about it. Her picture actually popped. We took a picture together and it popped up on my memories on Facebook this week because the event is coming up. So talk to us about, because you talk about the money and using it in the shelter, but we're also using the money to help women transition out of the shelter, which is a very, very important part of this process. So talk to us about that, the transition out.
Absolutely. So women and children, women with their families can typically stay at the shelter for, we try to have them transition in between 3, 6, no longer than 9 months into their own home. So to your point, Jessica, not only do we use the money within the shelter to provide some immediate impact and changes, we also use the money to help individuals as they transition. So they may need help with a security deposit. They may need help with their utility bills, getting those paid up front. They may need help with furnishing their home because they're leaving the shelter where they're sharing spaces in their dorm rooms, as I mentioned, in cots and double beds, to now furnishing an apartment, sometimes 2-bedroom home. So we use the money to help them furnish their homes. They may need help with transportation, packing up things that they had in storage that they may have somewhere. So we help use the money not only internally within the shelter, but externally as the guests, because we call them guests, because we look at them not as residents. Residents are somewhere where you stay permanently.
Okay.
This is not your permanent home. We are helping you transition a moment in time as you pivot. So we help our guests transition to their next, and we use the money to see fit in helping them do that.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. What are some of the services that are offered inside the shelter? Because y'all offer services inside the shelter. So talk about some of the services that are also offered inside the shelter while the women are there.
We do. So each woman in veteran is paired with a case manager. And a part of their case management services, depending on their need and their case management plan, they can receive substance abuse counseling. They can receive mental health counseling. We also have 2 wonderful staff who assist with employment opportunities. They are our employment specialists, and they help them connect with job readiness courses, GED classes if they're pursuing additional education courses. We also have parenting education classes, and then there are programs and counseling specific for the children as well.
And who is this you got with you this morning?
Okay. So with
I
me
told you.
this
Come on,
morning is Miss Sierra Ivy.
What's
She
up,
is
Miss
on
Sierra?
our public relations team, and she just is my right hand and helps me stay together with all of my talking points and everything I need to be
That's
on
what's up.
point.
I appreciate that. Larry want me to talk so bad.
From the public relations side of things, what are some of the things you hear about the Women and Children Shelter, or what are some of the things that you want to put out there on the public relations side?
I want the public to know that not only are we a shelter that houses women and children, but we are really there to support them. I think a lot of things that people, like Kelly is saying, like, this is not a permanent situation. You know, this is just a temporary housing situation for them. And so, like, with helping them in their time of need and their crisis, you know, we really are there to support them.
We are getting ready for, if you're just joining us and you're like, what's going on? We're getting ready for our 28-hour broadcast where the Morning Madhouse will spend 28 hours straight broadcasting live from the Center of Hope, the Salvation Army Center of Hope, 534 Spratt Street. That is the address. That is important because anytime during those 28 hours, we're going to be out there. So you can drop off your donation beginning at 5:50 on tomorrow morning, and then we're going all the way until 10 o'clock.
That's 5:50 a.m.
Yeah, 5:50 a.m. We're going until 10 o'clock a.m. on Friday. So it's really 28 hours and 10 minutes.
10 minutes,
But
yeah.
give us our 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But my question is, why is this partnership so important to not only the shelter, but the Charlotte community?
This partnership is so important because, one, I believe, so growing up in Charlotte, I listened to Power 98. So I believe Power 98, the Morning Madhouse, you all are one of the voices of Charlotte. So you help send multiple messages and multiple positive messages throughout the community. And Salvation Army Center of Hope is the only women and children shelter in Charlotte. So bringing these 2 entities together will help us speak to volumes of people within the greater Charlotte-Mecklenburg community. And so I believe us coming together can create a lasting impact and be able to raise money that goes directly back to women and children.
Yeah.
And I believe I may have mentioned this last year. I always like to think this could be my family member. This could be a close friend. So I think when individuals within the community, no matter where you live, if you're on the west side, if you're on the east side, if you're on the south side, homelessness is a greater Charlotte-Mecklenburg community problem.
Yes.
And so we all have to come together to address it. And this event is one way you can do that. Be a change, and this is one way that you can be a change to impact homelessness.
Yeah.
And for me, you know, it's near and dear to my heart because, you know, I actually stayed in the shelter when I was 2 and 3 years old with my mom. And this is one of the projects that my mom was so proud of me for doing. And when we started this project, you know, over about 17, 18 years ago, she would always come out, she would always donate, and she would always remind me, son, when I was in transition, when she divorced my dad, she said she went through a transition point, and the Center of Hope was there for her. And she was like, you was a little boy, 2 and 3 years old, running around the shelter. And she said, this was a stepping stone for me. And that's actually how her and Deronda became friends when my mom was actually in the shelter. So this is very near and dear to my heart. So this is why, for me, it's not just a sleep out. It is something that I know I've really lived and been through. And for me to be sitting here today in this position, to be able to give back, to be able to, to be a blessing to others, it's a blessing to be a blessing. So it is something that I take very serious. And I appreciate y'all allowing us to be a partner with y'all on this. So thank y'all for that. For real. So appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Of course.
And we look forward to get started tomorrow, these 28 hours. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
I'll be ready by tomorrow if y'all busy. I'll be ready then.
yeah.
I'll be ready then.
Yeah,
We ready.
I'll be ready then. I always love this event. We have a great time.
It's always a turn up.
It's
now.
not just us sitting there for 28 hours.
Oh, right.
No.
We're going to pour into the residents.
We go out there and
we
we have a good time with the guests.
The guests,
with the staff that are there, and with the community that shows up to drop off their donation.
That's what I love.
Yeah,
that's what I love. And what I love about the city of Charlotte is they show up and they show out. Whether it's monetary, whether it's they come check on us, they make sure we got food the whole 28 hours. Like we have so much food, we be giving food to everybody.
Listen, I don't know who that was last year that bought that fish and grits.
See?
But listen,
We need that fish and grits again.
we need that again, sir. Thank you.
So if y'all want to pull up, I know we got people from our Power 98 listening area is huge. It's huge. We have a huge listening area all the way. We reach some parts of Asheville, Tennessee, Columbia, Rock Hill, Spartanburg, Hickory, Statesville. And if y'all want to come down, because a lot of people be like, I ain't never met the man. If you want to pull up, you got 28 hours to pull up. But if you can't pull up and you want to donate, you could always go by our website, power98fm.com, and make your donation. And if you own a business, you own a company out there, this is something that you can donate to on a yearly basis, and you know that your money is going back to work in this community. You know that. And I got to salute out to my man, Jeff Kropp. He never ever wants a salute, but shout out to him. He made a huge donation on behalf of him and his company last year. He actually donated $10,000. So shout out to him. And Jeff, if you're out there again, no, for real though.
But tomorrow we start hollering. I know, Kelly, you are a member of a sorority.
Yes.
We are members of
Delta Sigma Theta
Come on
Sorority
now.
Incorporated.
And then they just gonna leave me out. Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
But we always, we shout out the sororities, the fraternities. We ask them to come out. We shout out these promoters that have clubs and throw our concerts. Come out. My favorite part. My absolute favorite part of the 28-hour broadcast are the kids that donate.
Yes.
Every year, we have kids, and I mean, these are kids that are listening to us on the radio, and they go, Mom, Dad, I want to go. Can we stop by? Can we go make a donation? And they look forward to. I'll never forget the year of another woman who transitioned out of the shelter. She has since moved away from Charlotte, but she came back. She come back every year. And the last year she came, she brought her son. And her son begged her, please, I want to go because I want to make a donation. The son wanted to make a donation. So for parents out there, this is a great way to start that conversation about giving back. And you can stop by and do that tomorrow, beginning tomorrow. 5:50.
Tomorrow, 5:50.
In the
we
morning.
outside.
5:50.
We
In
outside.
the morning.
Thank y'all, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.
Thank
We
you so
outside
much
all
for
day.
having me.
28 hours.
Thank
We
you.
outside. We outside. It's No Limit Larry in the Morning Madhouse.